So it's week 3 of my agentic SEO journey. Those who've been following the last few weeks will know I started with some keyword analysis, SEO analysis of the website, of the analytics and search console, then created content tasks, a couple of agents to create content tasks, listing content optimizations, and then new content opportunity, and also the pipeline for the technical development tasks. For our developer Rob, and output all those into Google Docs. And then the next thing I did on week 3 was I started to build out a pipeline for creating social posts, social media posts. So you got the social post generator here. So again, just using a simple Claude AI agent to create the different types of posts. I fed into it a kind of content framework. So I'm a big fan of the 4 E's framework, which is something John Brosio uses. So you've got you want to create different types of posts to achieve different things. So sometimes you want to entertain or get people to, to stop scrolling and to engage with the content and then to actually follow you. So you want to build your audience. So some posts might just be kind of funny. Then sometimes you want to educate and show that kind of knowledge that you have. Sometimes you want posts that are just a bit more engaging and sort of drive the community and the conversation. And then sometimes you want to show your expertise. So plugged in that framework into it. Then a bit of a formula around the structure of the posts. So a hook at the start, and make sure it's clear who you're talking to. So it captures the audience's attention. A little bit around the voice, the brand voice, and things like that. Added some facts into it, and then also built in a channel strategy. So again, different channels, whether it's Facebook, Google My Business, LinkedIn, you want to create posts that are more tailored to that channel. And so for example, there on LinkedIn, I'm targeting more women in business, talking about kind of Carrigan's journey and starting to take over the salon from Julie and become kind of a manager of the salon. Yeah, and a few other different things. I've also built in a seasonal calendar, seasonal context, so it looks at and understands what the date is and what kind of calendar events are coming up. So you've got kind of Valentine's or Christmas or summer or, the different seasons and what people are looking to do for those seasons. Get ready for summer, that kind of thing. Then also transformation stories. So when we have a customer who's had a great transformation, we want to feed that into some of the posts as well. Then we've got also in terms of the content strategy that we've been working out with those other agents and those other pipelines, feeding that into it as well. So when we're talking about certain things from the content of the website, we can also drive some of that and kind of atomize some of that content through social media. Yeah, I started with creating 24 posts across the month, gave it some rules around how to vary the content as well, and creating kind of a weekly structure. So which posts to go on which days and what you're trying to do, educate, entertain, etc. Bit of information around hashtags, things like that. Yeah, and then so got that agent working. Yeah, and had to plug in, as I said, you'll see here, I plugged in or fed into the content, the seasonal calendar. So I created that as a node. So you've got kind of, Christmas and May bank holidays, Valentine's, Halloween, autumn, late summer. So a kind of strategy and different types of strategies to plug in and feed into it. That's the customer transformation. So what I did there as well is I created a Google, just a Google form for Carrigan to fill out. So she can basically fill out kind of the name of the customer, what the transformation was, what the results were, and she can just fill it in on a simple Google form. And that takes those forms that she's filled out in, adds them into this Google Sheets, and then that can feed into the social. So I'm merging all these things together. I'm merging the insights from the new content pages that we're doing on the website, the optimizations of existing content, the transformations, the seasonal calendar, and bringing all these together, merging them together, and then feeding it into the social post generator, then exporting it again into a Google Doc in a Google Drive. Okay, so then that's feeding into the Google Drive here, so you can see the social post plan, and then it feeds it into a document for Carrigan to take. And you'll see it's got the strategy for the 4 weeks, and then you got week 1, Monday, Instagram and Facebook. So a real idea, a wedding season is here. The glow up starts long before the aisle. You said yes to the dress. You've chosen the flowers. You've cried watching venue show reels. Tag a bride to be who deserves to feel incredible. So you've got the full post, a bit of a brief in terms of the imagery or the video that's needed or the media asset that's needed. And week post 2 is on Tuesday, Google My Business. That's about superficial. And then you got that post. So yeah, so it builds out all those posts. One thing I did find was it was a little bit overwhelming for Carrigan having all the month's posts just in a document. So what I'm probably going to do is build out a from the doc. So create all the posts for the month, and then take that, create another node, another agent to actually fire those off, the weekly posts, in an email to her, maybe a couple of days before. So it'll fire off to her just the week's posts to start with each week. So adding them all into a doc, and then extracting just each week's and firing an email over to her. So she works on those for the week and doesn't get kind of overwhelmed with too many. So yeah, cool, pretty good. Posts are really good as well. I mean, people talk about AI writing or not being good. I mean, there's things to improve still. You can see obviously a lot of M dashes being used, so I need to tweak it there. But then Carrigan can act as the gatekeeper as well, and gated approval. So she'll review them and tweak the odd word, or make some changes where necessary. It's never going to be perfect, but certainly as a starting point, gives you the ideas, gives you the strategy for each channel, the strategy for the season or for the time of year. Because sometimes it's hard, right, to remember what's coming up, and you end up getting to the week before Valentine's and going, quick, we need to do some Valentine's posts. So it's planning them in advance, and it's also got that memory. It's capturing that kind of that flow of what we've been working on, what we're doing, and bringing all those things together from the content strategy and the seasonal stuff and yeah, so on. So yeah, pretty good. Looks pretty good. The outputs, the content's pretty decent, and yeah, bit of tweaking and amending the odd word, but should be good to go. And obviously saving Carrigan a lot of time coming up with all the ideas and coming up with the strategy and the posts. Yeah, so we'll see next week. I'll move on to the next thing. But yeah, just want to share what I've got so far. Cheers, guys.